Hello, welcome to Everyday Experts. I am your host, Sir Joker. Achille Joker, Bob, Thomas. You can call me a lot of different things. Just don't call me late to dinner. I see we have the illustrious Mr. Prince in the chat. Hello, sir. Welcome. Tonight I have a very wonderful young woman who is showing an entrepreneurial spirit and partaking on many life changes as she's growing her family. She abandoned me and moved to Florida with a very handsome husband, so I don't blame her. He's a very handsome man. We met, when I was getting PT. Strangely enough, we stayed in contact. We became friends. I graduated from PT like 5 times with her because I was always hurt. I'm still always hurt because I'm old. She's actually a very nice person, which is interesting because, she's from New York. She's a physical therapist. That's what her doctorate stuff is in. She has taken her time to grace us with her presence. So, without any further ado, coming to the motherfucking stage, Dr. Arielle Prince.
Thanks for the intro. That was pretty impressive. I like it.
Thank you, darling. I appreciate it. So we see the big guys in the. We're gonna say hello to Sir Sexy in the chat. That's me, Mr. Chat. So, Arielle, how are you? How have you been?
I'm good. I've been good. It's living in Florida in December, and it's
tough. I know.
90 degrees. It's tough,
I don't know how you live such a tortured life.
Living in paradise. That's all.
Paradise. Very nice. Are you ready to take a flight, ma'am?
Yeah. Let's do this.
Hey, first question. If you could be a wolf, a werewolf, a zombie, a ghost, a vampire, a witch, or a serial killer, which would you be and why?
Oh, that's a tough question. Okay, I'm gonna go with vampire.
Vampire.
Yeah, I am, and I have a couple of reasons for this. One, they live forever, right? So they have a ton of time on their hands, so I could accomplish so much.
You mean more than the stuff you've already accomplished, right?
Yeah, exactly. And when I talk about accomplishing things, I mean more like, doing the laundry and actually keeping my house clean. I don't know. I feel like people like them, but they're also a little afraid of them. So like they're kind of like of the foreign creatures of the world.
Okay, a very good answer. Mr. Prince said, "We know, Sir Good Looking. We know you help." Oh my God, what happened? What happened? Oh well, I don't know what happened to Arielle. I don't know what happened.
Me off already. I didn't know it was that bad.
I would never. You were doing great. My internet has been wonky, so I'm going to warn everybody that if we keep having issues, you might have to reschedule. Your Majesty, Dr. Little Mermaid. So my next first question is, if you were in a zombie apocalypse, what weapon would you choose and why?
Ooh. Probably a bow and arrow.
Bow and arrow?
Yeah.
For zombies?
I'm going old school. It's quiet. I feel like I would like it. I don't know. I feel like you could be far away and still like be pretty accurate. Yeah, I'm going with it. And you can make your own arrows, so you never really run out of ammo.
That's a very okay. A bow and arrow. That's Doug life. Okay.
You know how I roll.
I do know how you roll. It's scary that you want to shoot zombies with a bow and arrow in the head. That's like super sadistic. Watch the whole head explode. We got to talk about this maybe.
That's why he stays on my good side.
I think you stay on his good side. Assassin, now you know why I just say yes and I love you. Not wrong. You're not wrong at all, sir. So, question. What was young Arielle like?
Good question. I was a little bit shy, but also like thought that I was actually secretly a princess, you know, like the little so it was a little balance of that. I did fashion shows through my parents' house with random clothing. Yep. And really just thought I was going to run the world. So
So the thing that impresses me the most is that you were doing fashion shows. Were you designing the clothes yourself?
Oh yeah, I was taking like things out of my parents' wardrobe and like reconfiguring them and then just like strutting around the house.
Okay. What's your favorite thing you remember designing, if anything?
God, I don't know. I think I took like a long sleeve shirt and turned it into some like strapless dress or something like that.
Inside the baseball information.
Yeah, I might still strut around sometimes, you know.
That makes sense, which is very. So you have a very dichotomous personality. Hello, Andrew. How you doing, sir?
Oh, thank you.
So I wonder, you present as usually very I would say introverted. Are you more introvert or more extrovert?
I think it's situational. You know, like I don't know how to describe it. Like if I'm in a really big crowd, I'm not the person who's like yelling and screaming. I'm not you in that regard. Oh, come on. We all know.
I'm very quiet and very demure.
But like if I'm with people that I know, I think I'm a louder personality. So I sit on the fence, I think.
Were you more shy leading or more outgoing leading when you weren't doing your fashion shows?
As a kid, a little more shy, I think. Yeah, I think if you ask like any teachers from when I was really young, they would say that I was like quiet and sweet and just like behaved. And I know
you started fooling people very early. Okay, so you started fooling people very early.
Yeah.
What was your childhood like? What did your parents do? How did you get into what you do now? But we can answer that one at a time.
All right. So, childhood was good. My dad owned a business. And was very successful in it. My mom kind of helped with the books in his business and then was home most of the time. So it was like very like typical Long Island childhood, you know, playing outside on your bike till the lights came on kind of thing. So that was, I mean, that was nice. I can appreciate that upbringing. Things changed a little bit. When I was 14, my dad passed away. He had colon cancer that was not really detected early, and it kind of happened quick. So there was a quick flip in my life. My mom stepped up, and I got to appreciate her every day for that. So she kind of made me into what I am today, I feel. But things got a little more interesting. You know, we still had that nice, good life, but you know, things change a bit when you're missing a big chunk of it.
How did that affect you? You know, losing your dad at 14.
I mean, I felt like I grew up faster, you know.
Mm.
You kind of have to realize that things happen. You know, you live in a bubble as a kid, not realizing that bad things can happen. And it definitely made me grow up a lot faster. You know, I obviously would never wish anyone to have to experience anything like that. But it's part of my life. It's part of my story. And I feel like it's definitely contributed to who I've become. So, you know, while I would rather it not have happened, you know, I appreciate the time I had gotten with my dad. And, you know, I still think about him and I still think he influences me, which is a cool thing.
Mm. So what did your mom do when your dad passed away to step up?
Everything. What didn't she do? She went back to work full time to make sure that everything was as similar to how it was for my brother and I as possible. Activities, and kept us doing everything as much as we possibly could. So she really became mom and dad in that phase of life, and I commend her for it. It couldn't have been easy on her, and she really took that role on as swiftly as she possibly could.
Mm. How did that influence you? So seeing your mom step up and see her be mom and dad, what did you kind of take from that?
That, you know, you got to be there for your family, and that everyone has the power in them to do what they need to do and be who they need to be when the time comes. You know, you have that inner strength. You just have to find it sometimes. And I think about that a lot because, you know, there's always curveballs that come at you. And whenever you think that like you're like, I can't do this, like, what am I thinking? Like, you got to realize, no, there's a way, there's a will, there's a way. And I think she kind of was able to teach me that.
Mm. So 10-year-old Arielle, 20-year-old Arielle, and you now are at dinner together. What's the conversation like, and what's dinner like?
Chaotic. um oh God, what would dinner be like? If it's anything like my dinners now. I feel like I do sit at the table with not a 10-year-old me, but an 8-year-old me currently, because my daughter more or less is me. So I feel like I get a vision of that as it is. I think I would tell my younger self, though, my 10-year-old self, like, don't worry about what other people think. Like, come out of your shell a little bit more. Because a lot of, I think, what made me more introverted was that I was always concerned, like, oh, is someone going to laugh at me or something, which I think everyone thinks at that age. That's the most awkward stage of your life, right? But yeah, I would tell myself to care less and do more. And then my 20-year-old self, I don't know. She was pretty cool. So I'm gonna, you know, just give her a high five, I think.
Oh, 20-year-old you would be the cool one.
Mm-hmm.
Guardian.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Met my husband at 20, so it was a good year.
Okay, I like it. Chad, I hope you're taking notes. I love it. Chad coming in hot today. What would you have for dinner?
Sushi.
The three would have sushi.
Mm-hmm.
I said it first. Nice. All right. So then you decided that you wanted to go to Syracuse. How did you pick Syracuse?
That was just a feeling. I had gone to a bunch of schools to visit. To be perfectly honest, my mom put a radius on me in terms of how far I was allowed to go. Had to be drivable, I think was the rule. Um, so I went there and like literally stepped on the campus and said, "This is it." Like it was just a feeling.
Mm.
Hmm.
Did you go to any games in the Carrier Dome?
Of course, I did.
And how was that?
It was crazy. It was fun. Everything that you imagine it to be loud and, it's the complete rah-rah school. So I definitely got that experience there.
You majored in
Health and exercise science.
psychology. I'm
Yes,
more
and I
interested.
minored in psych.
I'm more interested in the psychology part, but why
All right, let's do it.
health and exercise science?
I kind of already knew that I wanted to go into physical therapy to like a certain degree. I was kind of on the fence about it, but I did know that I wanted to do something like that. I liked helping people. I didn't like blood, so I didn't want to be a medical doctor. I had been through physical therapy a bunch as a kid, from injuries in like gymnastics and dance and stuff like that. So I kind of just like their approach that it was like a little bit holistic, that like you're spending a lot of time
Mhm.
with your therapist through that whole healing process. And it kind of just drew me in. So that's why I focused on that. And the psych part, I just think it's fascinating. So that was
Mm.
I like learning about people. I like reading people.
You like reading people?
Yeah, like people watching, like
Oh, being a
like go
creep.
yeah, totally.
Uh, what? So, what did you read when you first met me?
That we'd be friends forever.
Oh, that's nice. I don't believe you, but it's okay. I'll let it slide because that's a good answer.
No, my first thought was, wow, this guy's gonna be trouble. Repeat
Your
offender.
your husband said that you are a stalker.
I'm a good Facebook stalker. Although apparently you're better than me because you dug up some dirt in the process of
I didn't dig
behind
up
the
any
scenes
dirt.
there.
I was fact finding. That's all.
And that's what I do.
Mhm. So, how did you pick physical therapy? How did you know you wanted to help people stretch and work out?
I mean, science is something that always was easy to me. So understanding like the human body kind of came along with that. Um, I just thought it was interesting, like knowing mechanics of the body and stuff. I thought it was cool. So that's where I
Which
went.
which do you think is more intriguing to you, but the mechanics of the body or the mechanics of the mind?
Mm. Well, they're interconnected. So I will tell you, I don't think I've had a single patient through my 10 years of practice that I haven't felt like I've counseled through some mental or emotional portion of it. So they interlock pretty closely.
Thank you, sir. So, I was going to ask that question, but since you beat me to it, you do have. Oh, boo. So you do have a situation where you're in a role where people are telling you what's going on and their problems and all that stuff. How do you balance that? That. All right. Oh, I don't want to hear about your whole life. Shut
A
up.
lot of redirection. I mean, sometimes it plays in though. I mean, as someone who's having a lot going on emotionally and mentally is not going to heal the same way as someone who's like all in and prepared for this and, super positive. So to a certain extent, like, when I'm doing my exams with my patients, yeah, I want to get to the reason for them being there, but I always try to give some time to make sure that they're able to like express other things too, because it is such a big part of it. And yeah, to me that part's kind of fascinating too. So I don't mind when they talk to me about some of that stuff, although some overshare, I will say. But it's definitely an important part. So I'm always listening.
Oh, that's such a very nice answer. So nice. You're so nice. I'm always listening. Patient experience is everything.
Sure is.
Hmm. That's 100 speaking as somebody who goes and fist. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Mr. Kramer has agreed with you.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of psychological stuff going on. Do you see your personality, not necessarily in your daughter, because you said she's a mini you? Do you see your and Chad's personalities in your kids as more Chad, more Arielle, or more of a mix?
Yeah, they kind of span the spectrum, I think. My daughter is like me, but like 2.0. She's like more sassy, more outgoing, all of that. Um, my middle one is, I don't know where he fits. He's more spacey like Chad is. I love you, Chad, but you are spacey sometimes. Um, but Cameron, we say it must be loud in his head. He's always moving and playing a hockey game in his head and all that. And then my youngest is a clone of Chad,
Oh.
but has the boldest personality of all of them. So like if you made Chad a complete extrovert, that's what Logan is. Mm-hmm.
That's fun. So it's kind of like a split, which
Yeah.
makes sense. So Logan's party area.
He's the party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So you went to Syracuse. You got what, your master's in physical therapy?
No, I got my doctorate.
From Syracuse?
No, I got my bachelor's at Syracuse. There is no
Uh-huh.
master's in physical therapy anymore. They kind of just erased it
Oh.
from the planet.
Oh. Then you
Yeah.
decided to come back home. And where did you end up going?
Yeah. And then I went to Stony Brook for
Go
my
see
doctorate.
wolves.
Yeah. Not sure what a sea wolf is still, but go sea wolves. And hung around there, graduated, practiced in New York for 6 years where I met you.
That's true. So
Yep.
we all know who your favorite patient ever was. Do you have a patient that you don't have to say their name, but you just couldn't stand?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always one that like sticks out to you as being very frustrating. And I'm sure you experience it too, that, you're sitting there trying to help them. They've come to you. Like they've went out of their way to come to you, and it's frustrating when anything that comes out of your mouth is questioned by them or shut down by them, as if they don't treat you like the expert that you are in the field. And it just takes something where you're trying to be their, what is that? My guys who brought up beef jerky. um, it's just like you're trying so hard to help them and they're being so combative to it that it feels almost like a waste of your own time. Like you're like, well, there could be someone here who is open to the help, and you're kind of holding that space from someone else. And sometimes you break through with those patients and you're able to get them to like understand that you're really only there to help them, and that if they let you in, it will work. And then there are others that it never does, and they walk out and you never see them again. You can't have everyone love you, and I've learned that you got to have thick skin in this business. But
have you worked with other physical therapists who just they irk your soul because they think they know more than you?
Yes, I have.
No, not work. I mean, worked on. I should have said worked on physical therapists who question everything that you do.
No, not that. No. I've had like people that I've worked alongside that think they know everything. A lot of times it's new grads, which makes me laugh a little bit. And then, it's nice to see them humbled when something doesn't go the way they wanted. The universe pays you back somehow.
So I just want to make a side note that Arielle's choosing violence today. Always. She wants to blow a zombie's head up with an arrow, which is... Mm-hmm. Do you find it being harder or being difficult being a woman, a female physical therapist? People questioning?
Yes and no. So, interestingly enough, I don't know what the stats are anymore, but it used to be that the field was more female than male. It might have shifted a little bit. But with that being said, I have felt like there are certain patients that come in where I have to work harder to prove my intelligence to them, which is frustrating. And sometimes it's not just the idea of me being female. Some of them, it's like until they hear that I have my doctorate, they don't treat me with respect until they hear that, which is a frustrating thing because you don't walk into a doctor's office with that same mentality. And you shouldn't, my degree really shouldn't change that for you. It should be what I do as a therapist for you. But it's yeah, it is an uphill battle sometimes though, Do you ever feel like you get that with patients coming in and...
Oh, yeah, I get people all the time that say, I want a female therapist. Okay. Well, I say, I'm sorry, I don't have a vagina. I can't do anything about that. But you're assuming that a female's, I guess, going to be more empathetic, more warm, more caring. Now, we all know I'm not a warm hug when it comes to therapy. I'm very straightforward and to the point. But I've had a couple people who were like, when we were working, I had one guy who wouldn't take his nonsense of no shows, and he was like, "Oh, I prefer to work with a female." Okay.
Yeah.
You still have to show up for the session on time. You can't show up 25 minutes late for an hour session and then get mad at me when I won't have the session. Oh, just come on and say hello. I don't want to.
Yeah. That drives me crazy. I agree. As a patient, you need to respect our time.
Did you have a mentor or somebody who kind of showed you the PT ropes?
Yeah, a couple throughout the years. in one of my clinicals, there was someone named Jack, who he was a fantastic therapist. He still is a fantastic therapist.
Shout out to Jack.
Yeah. And he really like guided me to kind of follow what I felt was the right thing to do, which I liked. Sometimes when you're a student, your clinical instructor is pushing you to practice how they practice, but he was very like open to listening, which I always loved. And then a few others along the way. In my first company that I worked with, there were a lot of really brilliant minds in that company. So I feel like I picked up little pieces from each of them along the way, and I think it's made me a stronger therapist and also have a stronger like business sense along the way too.
So when you say picked up little pieces of them, like a sociopath, like you took a finger hair and an air hair. Okay.
Yeah, little samples of hair. Yeah.
That's not creepy. So how did you decide that when you were at PT, you professional, you wanted to be a managing PT, or was that always your goal?
I always wanted to like do the next thing. It like to me like progress is just something that is needed to keep yourself growing. And that was one way to do it. I had gotten the degree that I wanted. I was getting some other certifications along with it, but like I felt like in order to really practice the way that I wanted to practice, I needed to grow to a point where I had a big say in that. So that was always my goal. When I started day one, I said to them, I'm going to manage a place for you guys one day, and made it happen. I was very fortunate. I was very fortunate that they offered me the chance to open that location in Bayshore, and they supported me through it. So that was, thanks, Faye. That was really cool. It really gave me the confidence to jump in and lead others. And then I kind of stayed in that for a while, even once I moved down to Florida.
Boo! Sorry.
Yeah. I like the idea of leading people. I think it's part of that whole liking psychology thing. You're able to shape people a little bit and help them find their way to grow. So I always liked that part of it.
Okay. Did you get that more from your mom, your dad, or a combination? Because you said your dad was actually in a leadership role.
Probably a combination. My dad was more of like a risk taker, so I think I get that more from him. Like he was like a type B personality. I'm definitely more that. But my mom, I think I get a little bit from her too, because she's very organized, and I feel like you can't do well in a leadership role without having some kind of organization to you. So I think they both helped, but my dad was definitely more of the type. I think I'm a little bit more similar to him.
Okay. You made the incredulous decision following Mr. Chad to move to Florida. Boo. How did that come about? How do you feel about the move?
So that was a quick decision.
Yeah, Chad.
No, I had to say I'm very proud of my husband, because our move was because of him in a very positive way. He got a job offer for a promotion within his company, take on a larger region of the company. And the biggest stipulation with it was you got to move to Florida. And he had been such a supporter of my career so far that it was his turn to have a lot of support. So that's why we made the move, and it happened super quick. It was like he got the offer, and in like 5 weeks we had to be down in Florida. So we had to list our house, find a new one, get the kids and the dogs down here, and it was a whirlwind. But it was a cool journey. I mean, I don't hate it. It came at a perfect time. We moved the end of 2019, so we spent the pandemic in sunny Florida, which, different than New York.
Oh, no, that's good. What was, I know you said it was fast. Was it like daunting? Was it scary at all to shift your whole life in 7 weeks?
I mean, a little nerve-wracking, but at the same time, we had always talked about leaving New York at some time or another. So we said, why the hell not? No better time than now. So we just kind of went with it.
Is Florida your final resting spot? Are you planning on moving again? Are you looking at other places? Are you going to move within Florida?
So we are contemplating North Carolina.
Yes, that's a great idea.
Partially so I can be your PT again when you move as well.
That makes a lot of sense.
That's the main reason, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, we've liked the experience here in Florida. It's nice. But we miss the seasons, and it's like a big vacation down here. So we're ready for some real life again.
So, in a line of bad decisions that you've made, you're in the finance world now.
Yeah.
And as somebody said, I quote, "It will give me an opportunity to help more people."
Mm-hmm. You want me to elaborate on that?
Is that true?
It is. It is. So,
How so, Arielle?
well, let me tell you. Yeah, so I got licensed to help people grow, protect, and save their money, which I never in a million years would have thought that I would get into. It's completely out of the realm of what my background is in. But with that being said, honestly, it really is a way to branch out and help people in a different way. I kind of look at it as, I've been able to help people physically for the longest time, but then there's other aspects of life where people need help, and one of that is understanding financials. So essentially, I'm helping people to get like financially educated and make smart decisions for themselves, because I wish that someone had done that for me when I was younger. So it kind of just rounds out my opportunities here. It's a cool thing to do, and I never really thought that I was the entrepreneur type. But maybe I got a little bit that from my dad and me. Who knows?
You mean besides the fact that you've been running businesses for like the last 5 years? Oh, that makes sense.
It's different.
So what's the difference for you between the two careers?
That's a good question. The difference is that with physical therapy, as much as I love doing it, there is a certain amount of stress put on you, because you do take on people's problems, which I'm sure you feel the same in your field. You come home kind of weighed down a little bit with other people's issues, and you kind of, whether or not you want to absorb it, you do to a certain extent. So lightening that load with helping people, but not feeling like you take on that same burden makes it bring back a little bit of the joy in helping people.
Okay, I'll allow it. That's a good answer.
Thanks.
Is this going to be something you move to full time?
Even if I do it full time, I will always have space on my schedule for you, Achille.
Let me ask you, who's been, and this is a serious question, who's been the most impactful patient you've worked with?
I can't say you.
No.
God, I gotta think. I got 10 years of patience to think back on. Most impactful one. This is really a hard question. I mean, I've had some that, like, I don't know. It's just like their will to keep going on. Like, you know, there's a few that kind of fit that category for me.
Okay.
That, like, even when the worst hits them, you know, they're still getting back up on their feet. They're not, you know, calling it quits. You know, I see so many people come in and, like, even like the littlest injuries sometimes saying like, oh, this is too hard, I'm not doing it. And then they don't get better, you know. But then you have these people who come in and they can barely stand up, or, you know, and they have all these things fighting against them, and they still come in ready to do it, ready to go, positive attitude. And that's what really makes the biggest impact on me. No,
wow.
That's a terrible patient. I tell him to stretch every day. It never stretches.
Clearly not that impactful. Clearly you just got it right, Chad, sir. That's awesome. The way you're helping people, do you feel like it's more impactful or permanent with finance than it is with physical therapy, or no?
Different. So I feel like with physical therapy, you make a really big impact with the person right away. And in their immediate, you know, short-term memory, let's call it, you're a huge piece of that. But then as time goes on and it goes further away, I can promise you most patients can't even remember their therapist's name after a while, you know?
I know all of them.
Well, you're special.
I am very special, thank you.
Whereas with finance, the relationship is different. It's over a longer period of time. You know, it's, you know, physical therapy, you're seeing them every day for, let's call it 3 months. But with finance, you're seeing them once or twice a year for potentially their whole life to make sure that they're set up in the right way. So it's a very different type of relationship. So it's hard to really say which one is overall more impactful. I think they both have their space in the universe.
Okay. It's a very diplomatic answer. So how did it feel? This is the last question. How did it feel to get your doctorate and PhD to be a young woman and a doctor?
Amazing, to be honest. I was very proud of myself, especially because I was very young when I did it. I had my doctorate by the time I was 25, which is, like, I think a big deal. I was proud of myself. I worked hard. You know, I feel like school is something I enjoyed, but it didn't necessarily come super easy to me. So every test that I did well on, everything that I passed, it was something that I worked my butt off for. So getting that degree and having those letters next to my name was a big deal for me. It was exciting, it really was.
Nice. what's your next goal?
Next goal. That's a big question. I don't know.
That's fine. I'll
Make
allow that.
millions. I don't know.
Oh, okay, okay. Um, Speaking of your lovely husband,
Mm-hmm.
you guys have been married 9 years,
10 years and change.
10 years.
You should know our
July.
anniversary, actually.
I know
It's a
it's
special
July
day.
2013. It's 27th, right?
Sure was.
Um, you got married in 2013, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. I want you to. This is your goal. Did you see what Chad wants your goal to be? All right. Um, how is it to be so young? You're like 24 or whatever. To be so young, be married for a while with 3 kids. How was that? Hit you? Did you think this would be you? Did you see yourself in this role?
I did see this for myself. I always wanted to be a younger parent. I didn't want it getting in the way of what I was accomplishing either, though. So, timing wise, it was basically like get my doctorate, got married, and then a year later started having kids. So I feel like timeline wise, it was exactly what I wanted. Obviously, kids make everything more challenging because they're expensive and time consuming, but they
Yeah.
are worth it.
And what?
They are worth it most days.
Mm-hmm.
But it's been what I've wanted it to be, which is cool.
Okay. You have 3 amazing kids. Your daughter, your 2 sons. Are you
Mhm.
done?
Oh yes, we're done.
Why?
Why? Because I look at you and
Oh, you're right. I look at me too, and I'm like, oh yeah, 4 kids is a lot.
yeah, no, we're good with the three. It's you
But
know,
it's an odd number.
it is, but we balance it with like pets and stuff where,
You have what? You have like a zoo in your house.
kind of sorta. No,
Kind of,
it's not
sort
that
of.
bad. It's not that bad. We have two dogs. Um, we're an odd family, yes. We have two dogs and two turtles, and the turtles were both rescued in separate situations. One was crawling in our driveway and we took it in, and the other one I found in my office. And fun fact, the second one that we found, we looked it up when we first found her and realized that she gets to be 100 pounds fully grown. So we will not be keeping her long term. But for now, she's part of the family. So we have, one of them is Squirt and one is Cubert.
Oh, you. Oh, you. Wait, hold on. I'm trying to keep up. Chad, you're not old. Shut up. You are
He
not
is a little
family.
old.
How old is he?
How old is he? How old? Oh God, I'm bad. 44.
He's young. Good than me. So he's not old. So that's awesome. Nice. What's married life like in Florida
Good.
versus New York? No, not is it good. Did you say good? That's your answer?
No, that's not my answer.
It's
In
good.
Florida versus New York, I don't know. Did it change much, Florida to New York? I don't know.
Well, you
I
said
mean,
you're on a permanent vacation, so
yeah, it does feel like a permanent vacation, but no, we are. I love my marriage. I really do. It's the easiest. Don't roll your eyes at me. It's honestly one of the easiest things in my life. We are very happy to just be together. Like we don't have to feel like we have to be out and doing things. Like if we want to sit on the couch and watch a show together, we are very happy doing that. Um, he supports me and everything, which is huge because I listen to a lot of people complain that their significant other does not. So I'm really I'm thankful for that. He's a really amazing father, and yeah, he's my best friend. I can't complain.
Oh, that's
I'm
great.
getting a lot of eye rolls from you. I
That's a
know.
wonderful answer. It was amazing.
I know you wanted some juicy dirt, but you're not
I didn't
going
want
to
any juicy
that
dirt. No,
category.
I wouldn't expect juicy dirt because you don't put that out. What is what's it like having uh a dance? What's it like being a dance mom?
Chaotic.
Uncle Kitty.
It's chaotic. It's nothing like the show, although sometimes I feel like it should be. It's multiple days of the week driving back and forth, a lot of money on shoes.
And the outfits are expensive too.
Oh my god, forget it. It's so expensive. We've got competitions all over Florida this year, so travel, all that fun stuff. But yeah, it's there's no like hair pulling by the moms backstage, at least that I've seen so far.
Well, they're probably intimidated by you. You're a doctor.
Maybe.
You can incapacitate them. Hit them in that brachial artery real quick.
or like just tape their ankle or something.
No, it's supposed to be like put them in that brachial artery or something so they pass out. So they're like, oh. What do you see her taking dance?
Wait, say that again.
Where do you see her taking dance to?
Oh, good question. I don't know. I know it's always. I think it's always gonna be part of her life. Honestly, we have a viewpoint on it that if it ever becomes not something that she enjoys anymore, then we are not pressuring her in any way to like keep doing it, because this is really supposed to be something that's like her release to like get her energy out and enjoy it and stuff. So but I do think that she'll carry it with her forever. To what capacity, I don't know. But I think she'll always have it as part of what she does for fun.
So let's say you go in front of a room full of PTs and doctors and stuff like that, in one sense, and then the next day you go in front of a bunch of entrepreneurs and business people, young women, ladies. What do you want their impression, and what do you want them to take away from meeting you?
That sky's the limit. I I really feel like just if you want to do something, go for it. And you are the only one stopping you. You got to just get out there and do it.
Go ahead. What do you want your daughter to take away from you, like you took away from your mom? Not the same thing necessarily, but what do you want her to take away from you?
I want her to see that I work my ass off, and that because of that, I get to enjoy things that come from that. I hope that she feels empowered. She sees me doing things. I can tell she's watching, and I want her to be proud of that. I want her to be proud of that, and I want her to feel the same sense of it's like ability to just go for it. Like if she wants to try something, I want her to know that she can do that.
Has she shown an interest in anything? Any feel? She asks questions about what you do.
Yeah, she does. I don't know. She's like, she'll be a litigator one day. I don't know. She's been negotiating since she was 2, so I could see her. I don't know. I can see her working with people, but I can see her just like running a business, like being the CEO of something.
Okay. What about your sons? What do you want them to kind of take away from your experience, your journey? Because you seem to have had it figured out from when you were like 4, what you want them to do.
Kinda. I don't know. I mean, I want my boys to know that like both parents are equal and both contribute, and that when they're looking for a relationship in the future, that they should be an equal with their partner and support each other through everything. And same thing, like they can follow whatever dream that they want. I think that's something my husband and I are very proud to do, is like let them follow their dreams a bit and let them fall down in the process and kind of make their own little mistakes along the way. And I hope they walk away from it stronger people and confident people.
Okay. Do you think that your journey was easier or harder because you got your doctorate before you started your family?
Um, I guess easier because I didn't have the distractions of kids and stuff. I mean, I give my friends who went back to school after kids so much credit, um, because there is a lot more distracting. You can't just like go home and unplug. Like, when you're a parent, you're always on call. So I do think that made it easier. And I think that's why I was so determined to do it so quickly. Because I didn't want to have a reason to feel like I couldn't give my whole attention to what I was doing.
Mm. Let's say you would you have kept going for your let's say you got pregnant at well you got your doctorate at like 11. So let's say you were 25, 26, and you got pregnant. Would you have kept going?
100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Would you have
I
been
don't,
more driven?
maybe. I don't know.
Seem to be you're a very extrinsically motivated person.
Yeah. I definitely would have still done it because like just to prove it to myself to
Mm.
done. Um I yeah, I probably would have still gone. It would have been harder for sure.
Hmm.
But I don't really like to give up on things. I don't like to quit on things. So I would have been mad at myself
That's
if
what
I
Pete said.
did. Say that again.
Nothing. Go ahead. I'm listening. I'm sorry. I interrupted.
No, that was it. That's it. That's it. I just like, yeah.
What do you find like when it comes to co-parenting and you and the good-looking man being on the same page? What do you find is maybe a challenge or a struggle
Um,
having the age differences you have?
yeah, I don't know if the age difference part comes into play as much as like, you know, we've struggled with like the making sure one of us isn't like the hard parent all the time, like that I think is like the hardest balance. Like, but it's a work in progress always, and we've definitely figured out ways to balance it where if one of us is leading the charge on laying down the law with the kids, that the other one
Hmm.
is being supportive of their statement so that it doesn't look like it's a one-sided parent act.
Hmm. My last parenting question: is parenting what you thought it was gonna be?
Yes and no. It's harder. It's harder. Um, you know, it's hard because it changes so drastically at every phase. Like once you feel like you have a grasp on how to parent them, they completely change their personality, and you're like, who is this alien who just landed in my house?
Hmm.
So, it's definitely a challenge. It's definitely a process. I think I'm learning about a lot about myself as a parent. You know, like what sets me off and like how to like reel that in a bit. It's definitely more challenging than I thought. And it's funny, I'm sure, you know, you felt the same way with your first kid, you know, they're a baby and you're like, "Oh my God, this is insane." And then like I wish they were little babies again because they just laid there.
Nope. Nope. I like them as they get older, and get out.
Yeah,
I
but little kids, little problems, big kids, big problems. So, you know, it's
little kids annoying. So I'll say, since you asked, I feel like the first year of babydom is the worst.
yes, the first year is not well, no, first 6 months are not my favorite.
No.
By
First year is horrible. And my daughter is 18 now, so she graduated high school. She's in nursing school, and
Good for her.
that change is probably a big change for me because she's an adult. She's going to school, she's working, she's doing all this stuff. So the time that we had, we would see each other every weekend almost. Now she's like, "Oh, I have to work." I said, "I
Yeah.
would burn down the store you work at." No, I wouldn't. I would. I think that's a big change for me. I'm not saying. I think that your changes are, like you said, as they get older, things come up.
Yeah. I think a lot of
Uh,
it's that like as their personalities develop, it's like you have to become a different kind of parent. Like you can't be
mm,
the same parent their whole life. Or even for
no,
each child, you know,
no.
it's a different person for each child, for each phase. It's you need like multiple personalities to do this job called parenting.
Oh, that's easy. That's easy for you. Um, what's the difference for you? Your experience between being a girl mom and a boy mom.
I think it's easier being a boy mom.
Mm,
They get into trouble, but like they're sweet at the end of the day, you know,
mm.
girls get attitudes. So, you know, which I it's a taste of my own medicine. Mom, if you're listening, I apologize. I was terrible when I was younger. And now I'm getting a miniature version of me. So it's payback, I guess.
Mm. What's the hardest part of her?
Um, she's stubborn. Um, so you know, sometimes things turn into something bigger than they need to be because there's a you know, a little argument about things that don't necessarily need an argument.
And by sometimes you mean all the time.
Yeah, becoming more and more frequent.
Mm. And we talked about this a little bit off camera. M- As my daughter got closer to like 11, like pre menstrual cycle and all that stuff, I feel like she became a devil incarnate. Your daughter's 9, 8 or 9,
She's 8. She's turning 9 soon. Yeah, so
turning
we're just
9,
getting into that. Mhm.
preteen stuff.
Yep.
Yay, lucky
Yep.
you.
Yep.
She's smarter and
Yes,
more perceptive than she should be.
she is,
Kids are
which
very
makes it
smart.
challenging. Yes, good for her. It'll be great when she's a grown adult. Tough for us now.
Mm, mm, mm. Um, cool. All right, so the last part is usually the fun stuff.
Okay.
I know most people, oh, Marvel or DC or other.
Marvel.
Favorite Marvel movie?
Um, to go back to like first Iron Man.
Wow.
Hmm.
Okay. Favorite character?
In general, like
You said Marvel's your favorite, so unless your favorite's in DC.
no, I mean I was always a Spider-Man fan, but
Really? Hmm.
yeah.
Interesting. It's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite movie?
So can I give you my top 3?
You can give top 5. That would have been the next question anyway. Top
But
5
they're
movies.
not Marvel movies. We're talking like in general, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So The Princess Bride.
Oh, that's cute.
You're gonna laugh. They're random. They're really random. The Fifth Element. Do you
Fifth
know? Do you remember
Element.
that one?
Wow.
Blade.
Blade, no, the first Blade or the trilogy?
Um, so I like Blade 2 the most, but I do like the whole trilogy.
I love I love Nomak. He was great.
And then I gotta think 2 more. I don't know.
We got Blade. We got Fifth Element. We got what did you say the
Princess
first one?
Bride.
Princess Bride.
What else is up there?
So
the
these are your, what did you say?
I was gonna say the Sandlot's up there.
Sandlot.
Mm-hmm.
The rat.
Mm-hmm. I got
All
weird favorite
genres.
movies. I really do.
Are you a movie person?
I do like movies. Yeah. Yeah.
Going to the movies or just kind of like streaming now because we're all spoiled now?
Yeah, mostly streaming. I do still like going to the movies, but like rarely get there because kids. So
Did you see the Barbie movie with your daughter?
we did not. She's been dying to see it, and we did not yet. So she's been begging me to get it on like streaming. So
Go get it. It's on Amazon Prime.
I know.
It's a good
We
movie.
will. Yeah, I hear mixed.
People don't like it.
I don't know.
I
I'll
liked
get to
it.
it.
I liked it. I thought it was fine. Now this is the single most important question. The best on-screen Joker.
What'd you say?
The best on-screen Joker.
What do you mean? Like my impression?
No. The best. Who played Joker the best?
Oh, who played him best? I'm like, I don't even know what you're saying. I mean, I liked Joaquin Phoenix when he did Joker.
You think he was the best one?
The best, I don't know, but I really liked it. Who was I'm really bad with actors' names. Who was the original one?
On a TV show or in the movie?
In the movie. Yeah, I'll go with him. Why? Who do you pick?
I think you even asked me. You should know the answer to this question.
Yeah, but I don't.
And it's not Chad. It's not River Phoenix. It's his brother. You don't know who my favorite Joker is?
Was it Heath Ledger? Was he the Joker?
Very good.
Did I get it right?
Yes.
Nice.
Heath
Yeah, he was
Ledger.
good.
Hi, Random Rick Reviews. No, it's not Jared Leto. I don't know who this is. Have you seen all the Marvel movies?
I might be missing a couple. So one of my
That's fine.
Yeah, one of my best friends, he's like obsessed, and he gave me to watch them in order. So we watched mostly in order. I don't think I'm not a big fan of like the Ant-Man movies, so I think I've missed a couple of those.
Okay, so top 5 Marvel movies. You said Iron Man.
Yeah, I need a list.
Need a list?
I said I like them. I mean, yeah, Spider-Man's up there. Obviously, the Iron Man movies, like the one back in the day. What was his name in it?
Tobey Maguire.
Yeah, that one. I liked that
Okay.
one.
Okay.
There's been too many since I like stopped watching them. Um, yeah, so the Iron Man movies. I gotta think. Oh, I liked I'm so bad. Doctor Strange, is that? Yeah, Captain America. My husband's filling in for me here.
I know. Doctor
If you
Strange.
know me, I'm really bad at remembering names of anything.
So I'll let you off the hook with that one. We'll go to a fun
Okay,
question.
okay.
Fun question. You said you like zombie
Mhm.
shows. I know you said you like The Last of Us.
Mhm.
Walking Dead.
I really liked The Walking Dead. I think that they drew it out a couple seasons longer than they should have, but I was a huge fan. Like watched it every week when it came out.
Have you seen Gen Z?
Yes.
I like that one a lot. They stopped
Yes.
making them now. They stopped after 4, I think.
Mhm.
So why didn't you
Yeah.
pick a zombie in the first question since you like zombies so much?
Because I don't know if I want to be one. I mean, it would be nice
Me
to not think of anything for for a change and have just like a blank mind. But I feel like that's not very productive, so that's why I didn't pick it.
I wouldn't want to be a zombie because I wouldn't want to be dead. And I
Yeah,
wouldn't
that
want to
well,
be a
there's
vampire
that
because
too. But
I wouldn't want to live forever. That's why I never pick a vampire.
what do you pick?
Serial killer.
Of course you do.
What did that mean? What did that mean?
I'm just saying, it seems to fit. Oh.
Serial killers are the only ones that are human. Yeah,
Yeah, but are
yeah,
they? No.
yeah. They are. Um, what movie did you enjoy watching in the movie theaters the most?
Of my whole life?
Yeah, we could do the
Um,
last 4
Titanic?
years.
No.
Titanic. Are you secretly like an 80-year-old woman and I don't know about?
I'm
Titanic.
kidding. I'm kidding. God, I don't even know what movies I've seen in theaters. It's been like so long. The last movie I just saw in the theaters was Wish. Is it a Disney movie?
I
It
heard it
was
wasn't
cute.
good. Oh,
It was
really?
okay. It was cute. Yeah, it
I
was
heard it
like
wasn't as good.
yeah. They could have done a little better, but it did its thing. So
Um, did you see Elemental?
yeah, I liked that one.
Okay. Did you see Turning Red?
Yes, that one's
That
on
was
a
a
lot
very
in my house.
that oh
Mhm. Mhm.
Turning Red or Frozen?
Oh, they're so different.
I know.
Um, Turning Red is like fun. Like, so I'm gonna pick that because Frozen, I'm just like tired of.
All right.
I like the song, the little boy band
Mm,
group in there.
interesting. The stuff you like. Um, do you have any artistic endeavors you take? Do you draw? Do you write? Do you paint? Do you
Um,
scat?
I do draw sometimes. I hadn't for a very long time, and now I draw with my daughter sometimes. Um,
Mm,
so I do like drawing though. And I'm decent. I think I'm decent at it.
okay.
Yep.
Um, let's see. Hmm. So I think we'll go. The last question. You could have any superpower. If you could have any superpower or be any superhero, supervillain, who would you be and why?
Mm. So, superhero, I'd have to. I feel like I've been talking about him a lot this call. I have to stick with my man Iron Man. And my reason being is that he is human, which is cool. But still has powers that he's kind of made for himself. So I like that. He's pretty intelligent, so I'm going with that one.
But he's supposed to be a genius, right? You know that, right?
So, striving for genius status here. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think we have done very well for tonight. I am going to thank you for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
And being entertaining. People can reach out to you for financial support.
Sure can.
I'll put a link up later, maybe.
Happy to help in any way.
You're gonna come back for a part 2.
Let's do it.
Yes, let's. I want to thank you for coming on. And next week is the wrap up for season 2 of Experts and Overtly Opinionated. Everybody tune in. Tell your friends to like, subscribe, all of that stuff, comment. You can tell mom, dad, whoever to watch you and be amazed by how great an interviewer you are. I mean, I am. I mean, interviewee you are.
Teamwork here.
Teamwork, yes. We're going to end with a quote about physical therapy.
A quote about physical therapy?
Physical therapy is not just about treating the symptoms. Physical therapy is not just about treating the symptoms, but about restoring hope and improving quality of life. So I'm going to bid you guys farewell. Arielle, you're going to stay on.
All right.
We'll chat after.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank everybody for joining in. Bye.